Hey guys, alright, just doing a quick video today showing you how to design a splint in Splint Studio with enough retention when you've got someone with very minimal undercuts. So first thing that we'll do, we'll come in here and I'd be choosing, now this is just a preset setting that I prefer. I prefer the Formlabs Form 2 and then you set up your occlusal plane like how you usually set up, your occlusal plane. So 1, 2, 3 points. Go next, put it into here. I usually open it around about 6 mil, which gives me on this occasion 1.5, or 6.1 gave me 1.5 mil thickness. Next, so I always like to have a look at my path of insertion and I want to try and adjust my retention first. So I change my retention to 0.4 and then what I do is I look down and I want to see enough of this, I want to see this labial surface here and try and see as much of the undercut in that area as I possibly can. So essentially I look at about something like that and then I go from view and I readjust where the undercuts are. So, and then after that calculates, obviously you can see the areas where it's blocked out. Now I've eliminated even more wax in this as well because you can see these little areas are the areas that we actually want to engage. So in the next step, you can see I've just used the remove tool and I've gone all out and I've just removed all the wax from all of those areas. I've left little bits and pieces in. You might maybe want to, you know, if you wanted to add anything, you could most probably add just a little bit just in there. That's most probably enough. And then we go next. So I've pulled all the wax out of all the undercut areas. So if you were to use the slice tool, and pull that through. Oh, hold on, I need to move my mouse. You can see where I've drawn the green line. See how it's just down below the undercut here. So if I were to use the measuring tool, you know, from there to about there. So I'm about 1.1 mil below where the undercut begins. So I've tried to really engage in all the undercuts. So where I've drawn it, I've really tried to sculpt it and follow the line and really engage in all these areas all through there. That way we're maximizing our undercuts. Never mind about obviously where this is. I'll smooth that off a little bit. Cool, that's that. And then likewise, let's just smooth that off a little bit through there. And after we've done that, I'm going to make sure our splint thickness is actually 1.5 mil, not the standard 2 mil. And the reason why I've done that is so that if you design this at 2 mil, what happens, and I'll show you this in the next step, if I go next, that's basically, I've just chosen, you know, everything that I have there. Next. So in here, once it generates our splint, I'll show you what I mean by choosing 1.5 mil. So if you choose the standard 2 mil, what happens is the actual thickness. So if I were to use the slice tool now, so this is just me doing my editing. But if I were to use this slice tool, if I were to come in here, can you see we're just starting to engage in the undercut down through here, right? So it's engaged, most probably this is the undercut starting about there. And if I made this 2 mil thick, what happens is, this is 1.5, but if this was 2 mil, it wouldn't start to join here. It would start to join about there, and it will come across and go to about there. Because it's a wider surface, it starts to come across faster. If you choose 1.5, it's going to be able to come down a little bit more to join up there. So the wider you make it, the thicker you make it, the higher up this point is going to be, if that makes any sense. So after we've done this design, we just go through our model and we make sure that we're engaging in the undercuts the whole way through. So we're going to test our posteriors, so you can see we're just engaged in all those undercuts. And then I'm going to start to spin this around. So there's 3 at this point in time. Hold on, let's just go. Hold on, let's start on this side again. So we're going through, you can see we're just starting to engage just a little bit there on the undercut and a little bit in here. So if I straighten that a little bit, hold on, let's get that straight. So just here, you can see just in here where we've engaged the undercut and ever so slightly just around this area. It's just starting to engage just here. So once again, just engage just enough in that undercut. Once again, just engaged enough just in there. So once again, just a little bit of undercut engagement. I say undercut so many times in this. And you can see the undercut's most probably starting about here, so it's just engaged. Once again, the undercut's starting about somewhere around here. So we're just engaged in that. That's going to be pretty tight in the front, so you might want to trim it a little bit, you know. Once again, just engaged. Once again, we've just engaged in that undercut. And now we're starting to come. Oh, not that one, so we want to keep on going. So you can see that's engaged just in this little part. So this should clip in, I imagine, quite firmly. Just engaged there. So, and then we come down next tooth, a little bit of engagement. World's smallest engagement. And there's not too much in here, but we've just engaged just a smidgen there. So that gives you an idea of roughly what I'll be doing to try and maximize the retention amount on one of these splints. And then obviously I just went around and I did my smooth and whatnot as well. And then pretty much, well, that's my splint ready to go. So hopefully that helps you guys out with the design, and let me know how that splint that I sent over fit. I imagine it's going to be a little bit tight, especially the area that I think it's going to be tight is most probably going to be more so it's going to be these areas somewhere around this area here of the 2. Right there, that area there, I think is going to be the tight undercut area. So that might be one area in there that I might be looking to maybe trim a little bit. That's just where I put my wax. But I hope that gives you some sort of an idea. You can just do a quick trim on that. You can see just in there, it does bite in a fair bit more. I noticed that, obviously. That's why since I've since done this, I've added a little bit more wax in the second time. But you can trim that out just with a burr. And then that's it. Pretty much our splint ready to go, ready to rumble. All good, guys. Hopefully that helps, and I'll speak to you then. Cheers. Bye.